Gonitai ki, Shamaram Girashmara ki, Krishna Gopita Madhava ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Rantaraja Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we continue our reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, chapter 12, the killing of the demon Asagasura, text 18. Trishtva tam tadrisham sarve madhva vrindavana shriyam Vyata ajagaratundena I utprekshante ma lilaya Drishtvatam tadrisham sarve Drishtvatam tadrisham sarve Madhva Vrindavana Shriyam Madhva Vrindavan Shriyam Vyata Jagaratundena Vyata Jagaratundena I utprekshante simalila Ihut prekshantes malilaya Drishtvatam tadrisham sarve Madhva Vrindavana Shriyam Vyata Jagaratundena I utprekshantes malilaya
Ishtatam tatrisham sarve
Ishtatam tatrisham sarve
Mata vrindama shriyayam Yataj akira tundena I upechantis malilaya
Mataji
Vishwatam Tadisham Save
Sadisham Save
Madhva Vrindavana Shriyam
Madhva Vrindavana Shriyam
Vatya Jagavatundena
Yata Jagaratundena
Uprekshantes Malilaya
I utprekshantes malilaya Drishtva, seeing, tam, that Agasura, tadrisham, in that posture, sarve, Krishna and all the cowboys, Madhva, through it, Vrindavana Shriyam, a beautiful statue of Vrindavan.
Beautiful statue of Vrindavan.
Vyata,
Vyata,
spread. Ajagaratundena,
Ajagaratundena,
with the form of a python's mouth.
with the form of a python's mouth.
He,
He,
indeed,
he,
Upreshante,
Upreshanti,
as is observing, Sma,
Sma,
in the past,
in the past,
Lilaya,
Vinaya,
as a matter of pastimes.
in a matter of pastimes.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Upon seeing these demons' wonderful form, which resemble a great python, the boy thought that it must be a beautiful scenic spot of Vrindavan. Therefore, they imagined it to be similar to the mouth of a great python. In other words, the boys, unafraid, thought it was a statue made in the shape of a great python for the enjoyment of the pastime. Purple. Some of the boys, upon seeing this wonderful phenomenon, thought that it was in fact a python, and they were fleeing from the spot. But others said, "Why are you fleeing? It's not possible that a python like this is staying here. This is a spot of beauty for sporting." That's what they imagined. Om Ganatiminandasya Jananja Sharakara Shatshuruminitam Yena Tasmai Shiguravina Shi Chaitanya Mano Bishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutali Ayarupa Kadam Madhyam Dadati Swapadantika E Krishna Karina Sindhu Dinam Bandhu Chagatpati Pisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastuti Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Krishna Suti Devi Pranamani Priye Vanchakalpatarubhya Kripa Sindhu Yaiva Chapatitanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are in the middle of such a pastime where Krishna gave facility to a demon to take the shape as he liked, but his preferred shape is that of a serpent. So to this big asura, he gave the service of attracting the Vrindavan's Vasi and the service of fighting with Krishna and ultimately losing his body and returning back to Godhead. So this is the whole background of this pastime, where this demon took the astonishing form of a gigantic python, like if it was a statue. And where we see that some boys were afraid and they could understand, wow, that's a dangerous place. And some others were unafraid. And they were thinking it's something for just enjoying, nice place. Like we have this kind of place sometimes for children with inflated tents where they have a big shape of a serpent. So this tendency is here for the children to appreciate such an environment where it seemingly, apparently it may be fearful, but it's enjoying, it's a nice thing. But during Vedic times, serpents were, and snakes or dragon were quite different, and they had supernatural power, and they had immense shape. Like we see some remnants of the Vedic types. You go on Google and you type Naga Cave, Thailand. Naga Cave, Thailand. And you see different videos that show actually what was a gigantic, not only one, but a few ones, serpents of the Vedic times, and they were stretching their body maybe on 100 meters or 200 meters, and everything is here: the eyes, the isekai, and the body. They are big like a hand, like that. You can imagine how actually it was true. There was some gigantic trees because the shape is, you cannot avoid it. It was a serpent, because it's very well conserved with the time. It has been transformed in stone, strong stone. And many people, they go to visit, pay a visit over there. Children, classes, bus. It's a very touristic spot, but very astonishing. When you see this pastime with demon Agasura, you can understand that the snake, the dragons who are worshipped in China, and the Asiatic people, they have snakes, flying snakes everywhere, because these snakes, they could fly, they could take the shape they want, they can take the human shape also. You have stories in the Vedic literature where a girl, she took a human form to beat the spouse of a brahmana, and the people around were shocked, and they complained. Ultimately, the king, he became alarmed, and he came with soldiers, and before they came, the girl, she could understand what's going on, and she took her husband, they went in the pond, and they never reappeared. Because they live underground. It's one part of the underground system on the earth. Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati says there is 5 kanda, 5 regions, and one of them is allotted to those snakes in a very gorgeous way, because it's said to be even more opulent than the heavenly planets, with beautiful gardens, plenty jewels, plenty pearls, so many things that would astonish us. This is the realms of the dragons, and one of those people were acquainted with Kamsa, and he took this size and shape to allure the boys and allure Krishna. Of course, Krishna is in the heart, Viddesh Natushtati, he is in the heart of every living entity. And he knows the purpose of the Pitan. It's not for playing. The boys are under the influence of Yoga Maya. They are thinking it's a nice place for playing. Not all of them. Some are afraid what this Pitan is doing here. They know Vrindavan. All of a sudden he appeared from nowhere, from the blue hair. So must be something strange. Maybe a trick or a trap. And under the influence of Yoga Maya, some other boys, Gopas, what's the problem? It's a nice place. Let's have some sporting over there. So that's what they were thinking. So like that, Krishna influenced the Gopas to be charmed by this marvelous shape. And some others, they were reluctant. So we see how demons are taking various shapes and various using various allurement to seduce the innocent people and do something to put them in their pocket. So that's the mentality of the demon is to control more and more and to offer some food to the innocent and people who have no brain, so that they will purchase and they will submit. So we see how this situation is evolving nowadays in our society through the medium of different mediums, through digital process, through digital, artificial, virtual images. We can see in hyper-developed megapole in China, or America also, but mainly China. They are quite expert on internet for that. The whole plan of the building of a skyscraper is dedicated to allure the people and make them think that there is a dolphin or a monstrous entity that comes out of the wall and makes so many things. So people are really allured by that. So all this kind of technology is becomes the topic of conversation, and they increase the faith of the people in technology. And at the same time, they don't know it, but the devotee knows that the more you become enticed by the flittering, the glittering aspect of the material energy, the charming aspect of the material energy, the less you become sensitive to the beauty of Krishna. It's like a balance. More you are attracted by Maya Devi, the illusory energy of the Lord, less you are attracted by Krishna. And oppositely, the more you cultivate your absorption of the mind and the sense object into something related to Krishna, the less interest you drive toward artificial virtual technology. Because you realize it is fake, it is hollow, it is not the real stuff. It makes the heart frustrated because you think you possess or have access to someone, something, and actually it's files, like sand, digits. After experimenting, it vanishes, and what you think was of good value in your mind, actually it's nothing. Like bitcoins. Already our money is virtual. Some banknotes, some coins, but most of the business is done through exchange of files from one country to another one, and accordingly some material is being sent this way or sold this way or this. So our money is quite already artificial. But even more with bitcoins, where you gather the money, real money, into brackets, from people, and you manipulate, you sell, you buy, you sell, you buy. You do so many thousands of operations like that to increase, we call that mining, to increase artificially the impression that you do business and it's going on, it's running, money is running. But actually no riches are produced. It's just the impression for the investor that You create something. So that's the way of Maya to, and sometimes you have some chiefs, superior chiefs that axe the accounts and steal all the money, and everything is gone. Everyone is crying, oh, his money. Fine, I've been stolen. it's going on this way. So we consider material energy is featuring and showing a nice aspect, but it's actually a trick. It's not the real thing. It doesn't generate devotion in the heart, but it generates frustration and a false sentiment of superiority or owning something or controlling something. So it increases what we call the false ego. The sensation that we are the Lord of everything we see and touch and smell and manipulate. We think more and more that we are controllers. Whilst the devotee have a completely different state of mind, where the more he comes close to Krishna, the more he becomes aware of how insignificant he is. A piece of dirt, a piece of sand, lost in the beach, and there is thousands of oceans, thousands of beaches, thousands and thousands cannot count. Piece of dirt, piece of sand. So the more the devotee realizes that he is insignificant, the more a state of humbleness pervades his mind, his body, his action, his word as well. So, in this position, he is able to receive the mercy of Krishna, and he receives protection of Krishna. Even if apparently he seems to be on an errand, like here, some boys they look like in an errand and making this big mistake of going inside the mouth of this big serpent, thinking it's okay, or let's have some enjoyment. So this is not the same Maya, it's another Maya, Yoga Maya, to make the pastime running under the super vision and direction of Lord Krishna. But for the general populace, Mahamaya is walking and transforming the mind so that the false ego becomes the king, master. So this is the way of the demons. They are manipulated by some hopes of controlling more and more, detaining more riches or more control or more land or more, whatever. And increasing, like I said, that sense of being the Lord. Cultivating this false ego. So the devotees are completely oppositely situated. And it makes them humble and dependent on the mercy of Krishna. And actually, the devotees are the real beggars. They pray and they ask from Krishna the benediction. Some boons. What are these boons? Desham satata yuktanam bhajatam tekipuvata. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. It gives them the intelligence to understand how things are in reality. This is the boon the devotees receive, and they realize the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, and they realize what to do, what not to do. The same way that when the sun rises, you know, even you don't see yet the sun, but still you can see the path. You can see where to walk, where not to walk, where to go, where not to go. So this is the first boon that Krishna gives to the devotee. He gives them the intelligence how to come back to Him. And dear devotees, this is so important because at every step in our life, we have so many choices, what to do, what not to do. And the devotee have this knowledge, realized knowledge, Vigyan, that he knows what to do, what not to avoid, what to avoid, what not to avoid. This is the facility that Krishna gives to his devotee. Of course, later on some other boons come, some taste is there, some appreciation of the form, of the name, of the pastime of the Lord comes. But the first step is that Krishna gives Vigyan, realize knowledge of what is written in the scriptures. First there is pure Gyan, you read the books, it is something. But then if you synthesize this Gyan, this knowledge in realized knowledge, Vigyan, then you do some service. You do some seva, practical seva, to the devotee, to the mission, to the spiritual master. In a way or another, you make Krishna see your effort. And through this endeavor, you get some realization of what you heard and what you've seen. Machita madgana pranat bodayantas parasparam katayantas chamamnitya tushantisha ramantisha. So the devotee, they appreciate the Krishna katayantas chamamnitya, about mam, meat. They take ramanti, rama, they taste some appreciation of the conversation about Krishna and his pastimes. The demons, they don't. They feel it like it's a tale, imaginary. So they interpret things in the opposite way. Yanisha Sarabhutani. What is night for the demons is day for the devotees. And oppositely, what is day for the devotees, what is night for the devotee becomes day for the asuras. So we see all things are differently arranged according to how you want to appease your false ego and make it a real ego, very humble, because that's your position in this world. And those who are manipulated by false ego, they think that they can eventually become like a Ravan or a Niranyakashipu, able to control one day life, span of life, riches, control the world of the universe. But Krishna makes it happen that sometimes some demons are really heavy and they manipulate, they can make a lot of disaster appear in the world of the universe, not only this Earth planet, the world universe. But these are a special case, and in those special cases, Krishna shows the form of choose to appear in a form to kill those hyper big demons. So we see this python, how powerful he was. Of course, we are at the end of the Dvapara Yuga, so monsters are not that much big like it was in Satya Yuga or Dvapara Yuga, where we are even bigger monsters that could control and do things that will be impossible to imagine for most of people. But the devotees, they can understand that demons, they do some illusory tricks nowadays up to the scale. In the past, up to the scale is just changing. The intelligence, the technology, the way to make it appear is changing. but behind the sentiment in the heart is the same as before. Thus the decorum, the background of the drama, the backdrop is changing, is different, but basically the impulse in the heart is the same in the demons in the past like it is nowadays. So devotees are absorbed in appreciating the pastime of Lord Krishna or Lord Chaitanya. This is what is settled in the Kali Yuga. In the special Kali Yuga, where Krishna appears and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears afterwards. This happens once in a day and night of Brahma. A very long time. Dear devotees, a very long time that happens. So, there is special auction in this case, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives freely, especially Nityananda Prabhu, opens the coffer, the chest of the trunk of love of Godhead to distribute it freely for just the price of, if you know this song, Dalalera Gita, the song of the marketplace of the holy name. Nityananda is selling the holy name simply for the price of the faith. A little faith and it gives all facility to the devotee who becomes interested in Gaurita. Achandala de nanam nitaido yamoi. Krishna, Nityananda is giving the love of Godhead even to the Chandala, the meat eaters. We are living in such a position which is extremely rare because Krishna doesn't give himself so easily, generally speaking. But he gives himself easily through the way of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. Because these are these incarnations are the incarnation of, how you say in English? Magnanimity. Magnanimity? We say it like that in English? Magnanimity?
Magnanimity. Magnanimity.
Yeah. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the incarnation of this feeling, to be magnanimous, infinitely magnanimous. And he gives access to the pastime of Vrindavan, if we so desire. But pastime of Vrindavan are imbued with madhurya, sweetness. So the love of Godhead is imbued with these two feelings, magnanimity and sweetness. Depending on how we taste, we prefer magnanimity, then we are more attracted to the pastime of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. Depending on how we taste, if we are more attracted to sweetness of Lord Chaitanya, of Lord Krishna, then we meditate and we are more attracted for the pastime of Lord Krishna. And there is some entities who are tasting both of them. So some devotees appreciate the magnanimous aspect of Lord Chaitanya and the sweetness of Krishna, and more specifically of Srimati Radharani. We see all these tattva are intimately inculcated, and according to the taste of the devotee, he can be more interested or in Lord Chaitanya's Mahaprabhu's Leelas, or in Radha Krishna's Leelas in Vrindavan. So here in New Mayapur we have a mixing of the two feelings, because we have some deities of Gaunitais, we have some deities of Radha Krishna, and we have some deities of Krishna Balaram, like in Raman Reti, Vrindavan, UP. So here we are in a kind of crossroad where we can taste relationship tinted with Vrindavan's pastimes, or as we more design, can taste some pastime derived from Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda in Mayapur. So, Srila Prabhupada created some duplication of Mayapur and Vrindavan in so many towns in the world. He took birth at a very crucious time where technology become prevalent, and digitally the fact of the things to be easily duplicated through digital technology made it easy for the message of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda to be spread all over the world. So we may see that technology is destroying people, but we may also understand that this technology is meant to duplicate and disseminate infinitely to every people on this earth the message of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. So the technology in itself is not bad. What is bad is the use of it influenced by the false ego. So the devotee under the influence of the real ego to be dasanudas, the servant of the servant of the servant of the gopis of Krishna. The tendency is to make this apparently demoniac technology agreeable and fit for spreading the Sankirtan movement. So the devotees in their life, they might also take care of ending this technology, which is like fire, that you can degrade yourself, you can burn yourself, but you can cook good things also. Depends on your motivation, the depth of your heart. That makes the motivation and that drives the quality of your activities in a spiritual way or in an untangling way, materialistically speaking. The choice is up to us. Actually, in every situation, it's like that. And in the life of the devotee, so many situations we are encountering where we have to enact this choice of choosing to serve our sense of the material elements or serve Krishna or the spiritual master or the devotees, whatever. So this choice is given to the living entity rarely, because it can only happen when you dwell in a human shape, in a human body. Human shape is rarely attained for the infinity of the jiva roaming here and there in the material universe. Rarely attained. You see around you, Brahman is pervaded by so many strange bodies, worms, bacteria, trees, herbs, animals, birds, so many things. But not so many are humans. So human is particularly destined to austerity and development of spiritual life. That was it. It was scheduled and arranged by Brahma, the progenitor, the Prajapati, the Manus, then the kings, then the priests. So they arrange the whole of the society in such a way as to elevate the real ego of the human. Because that's the process that there is an evolution in the consciousness of the living entities from the bacteria up to different species, up to the human form. So this arrangement is made this way. That's why there is so many living entities. There is evolution, not so much of the body, but principally of the consciousness. And it elevates itself. And when there is this crossroad in the different bodies of gaining a human body, then the real choice can be used. If we make the good choice, like it was arranged in the past, to elevate the consciousness of the people. Not everybody was like that. Some space was for the people who want to stay, basically. But for those who wanted, and it was a majority in the past yugas, majority of people will take advantage of the arrangement of the society to elevate their consciousness. But now in Kali Yuga, the opposite is done. Every arrangement is done for degrading our consciousness. But this Kali Yuga being special because of the advent of Lord Krishna and furthermore the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then the due course of time becomes reversed, inversed. Because that's the Leela of Krishna. He makes things flowing and sometimes oppositely. Like Bhishmadev, such a powerful warrior. He was the son of Mother Ganga. He could reverse the course of the Ganges. He would stop with his special arrows and mystic power. He would stop the Ganges and do whatever he wanted with that. So, if Bhishma, who is a jiva, not ordinary living entity, but is a jiva, can reverse and stop the course of Ganges, what to speak of Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can reverse the course, the flow of time, and make it running oppositely, and making the dark age of Kali, transforming it little by little in a golden age. So we are at the beginning of such a reversal, and of course we see a lot of things going on strangely in our society. Or it have been decaying with the entrance of humanity in the Kali Yuga age. But we see how we are living in a special time where things are being reversed. A lot of things are happening in the world of wars, interior wars, changing of people's mind. People are really in a puzzle nowadays. Politically speaking, economically speaking, this is what they can grasp with their gross senses. But internally there is a big change also. These people, they don't notice, but the devotees, they do notice it. They do notice that people are becoming more interested in returning to the real value of nature, a kind of society. They become allergic, deeply allergic to the kind of materialistic Western type of life. They are choking, they want an alternative. Nobody is really presenting other real alternatives than the Krishna's devotees. So people who are more sensitive, especially in India, they are more, heart is more close to to truthfulness, religion, elevating consciousness. So a big change is occurring nowadays. Change of heart, little by little. People becoming more and more exhausted of researching a materialistic way of life. They become fatigued because the government taxes them, it becomes more and more oppressive, more and more censor, more and more. They become crazy. They will become rebellious. And certainly some internal war is already here, and external war will probably will happen. Let's see what Krishna will arrange. So our internal war is to reduce the influence of the false ego and increase the influence of our real ego. Our real identity is to serve Krishna. Only in this case we will be sheltered and peaceful. No problem. Even the Kali Yuga is, the waves of the ocean are crushing here around us. We become immune, like shielded in a kind of bunker. Shielded, can say, protected. Mercy of Krishna is protecting the devotees. That's why he is described as Ashraya, the ultimate shelter of the devotee. When the devotees are humble, they understand they are nothing. Then they take shelter of the infinitely powerful Krishna and infinitely sweet, infinitely everything. Like Prabhupada was walking on the beach in Juhu, Bombay, and he was showing his disciple. You see the crabs, little crabs on the sand. The more they were advancing, the more the crabs they were rushing to the ocean. They know the ocean is vast and infinite, and they give him shelter. So when they are afraid, they run to the beach. They run across the beach and they go into the ocean, and where nobody will touch them. We are their enemy. They think they see us as an enemy. They are afraid. They take shelter of the ocean. So similarly, the devotee also they take shelter of Krishna. There may be some comments or question about this verse. Tishvatvam datrishim sarve matva vrindavana shriyam yata jagat pratundena I uprekshantes malinayaha. Upon seeing these demons' wonderful form, which resemble a great piton, the boy thought that it must be a beautiful scenic spot of renown. Thereafter, they imagined it to be similar to the mouth of a great piton. In other words, the boys, unafraid, thought that it was a statue made in the shape of a great piton for the enjoyment of their pastime. Shri Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki.